Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for waiting for me, because today I did a BBC slot this morning and I felt really bougie because I got a cab straight here and I felt like I was, do you like if you're in the city and you're like, I've got my next meeting and maybe you have a driver. I didn't have a driver. It was just
I always like that
cab,
voiceover where they're like, and tell Donatella that.
Yeah.
To minimise the press.
Yeah.
I was doing emails. In fact, I needed to do voice notes to now in the car and be that person. But
I'm always like, who am I picking up and where are they going to and what are they doing with the day? They must pick up so
they ask me that all the time
people.
and they're like,
what do you do?
Famous on it? What did you do? So you're on it? Show me, find me, show me. I'm
Like, you want to tell the family. You can imagine the taxi drivers that
what do you
pick
do
up
again?
someone famous
Yeah.
and like, I don't know who would be our
It's funny when there's like
GC.
Gemma
GC,
Collins.
oh my
Oh
God.
God, Lucy would love it.
There's often paparazzi there actually, and you just kind of walk past them and go, hi. They're behind me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually want a new Instagram pic. Can you just take one?
Can you just, maybe I should.
What's your
slip him
resolution
some
like on
money.
that
Just
camera?
pose.
Yeah.
Wait.
Just look important.
Have you seen Jake Shane's got a really funny, is the guy of TikTok that does be Judas when be the weather when it wasn't picked or when it, I don't know, whatever. And he does a funny thing on his comedy show, which is to his audience, he's like, pretend I'm on the red carpet, and they all get the phones out and put the torches on and go, Jake, and he walks along it, smiles. So maybe next time I need to pose and they'll be like, sure.
Yeah.
You need someone with you to take pictures of you, and then people are like, she must be.
A lot of people set them up apparently. Not there. Like
Yeah.
I've heard it. But yeah, so I come straight from here. So if I end up talking absolute rubbish more than usual, bear with. You might need to step in because it's been a long day.
Sure, you're warmed up by now.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Ready to
presenter
go.
mode.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, I'm warmed up with a lovely cup
Move,
of tea.
Lucy.
So. Yeah.
Step aside.
I've not got presenter hair. Lucy's got presenter
I
hair
did
today.
have a moment. I watched a little bit of it today, and I thought, could there be a day whereby there's an emergency and Laura's got to present? I was like, and she'd do it. She'd be fine. I thought you would be fine. Sat with
I
Gethin.
can't remember. Oh, you mean on
Yeah,
in my life? Oh, I think maybe
Oh, no,
if
we're
Lucy
not,
was
no,
ill.
no,
I was
we're not
like,
replacing Lucy.
I think
but-
if Lucy was ill, we'd have to move it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't even remember Welcome to the Vault Unlocked at home. I have to do it over and over and over. Do you know what? If anyone got poorly and I had to step in, I'm not just saying this, Gethin and or Rav or any
They
of
hold
the
your hand
the
through it.
sort they literally hold your hand. You don't realise how much hand holding they do. They
like,
really
prop you up.
they sort you out. If you forget something, they'll prompt you and you're like, how did you know I was gonna need to say that? So yeah, they dragged me through it. I could
That would be so good. Okay, time for today's controversial opinion. We need to break up with influencers.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. And we probably, as Financielle, look like we give influencers a hard time. We're actually friends with a lot of influencers, believe it or not, as well. So
We're
it's
very
no,
popular.
it's no shade thrown at the influencers per se, but we have a lot of community members that have fallen foul of believing that they should live up to the standards or like the lifestyle that some influencers kind of portray. And I think there's different types of influencers now. It used to just be the fashion influencers, and now it's turned into things like health and fitness, and you might well be inspiring people to live a healthier life.
Yeah.
Or, there's health ones, there's mental health influencers as well. So that I don't want to pigeonhole people and be like, we shouldn't have influencers. I actually quite like that normal people from everyday life can effectively turn into a celebrity, whereas like when we were younger, it used to be like silver screen Hollywood stars were your famous people or people on TV, whereas social media's just made or created so many opportunities for people, and that's not where we're giving criticism. It's when things are oversold to our community. Like I really do struggle, and I've deleted it again. I'm like the worst for it, Instagram and TikTok, because it seems to be the people I follow are women of a certain age constantly promoting product. I just want to look at what people's lives do. I'm just a bit nosy, so that's what I like about Instagram, but it's definitely turned into a sales machine now, and that's where our community fall foul.
Because I love it when I find it really difficult with choosing what to wear at the moment. Whether it's
really
changing
overwhelming,
seasons or
yeah.
whether it's fashion trends have got narrower. Like there's the jokes about everyone looking the same, and so what I do love about seeing with people wearing different outfits, even if there's some influencers that are pure fashion influencers and they're showing a lot of outfits. For me, there's one way of looking at it. If you have the right self-control, which is that's the equivalent of the old fashioned magazine. Like I used to go in a magazine and look for inspiration ideas. And then if I go into a shop, I'd either buy that exact thing, or, you know, I could be looking for like a new work outfit and can go, oh, and I did it the other day, actually. I saw, and I can't remember which influencer, but she was wearing cream jeans, a white t-shirt and a tan blazer. And I was like, I like that look. And even though I've not exactly bought from her and clicked her links and done whatever, I've recreated that look. But I did it in a mindful way from the budget, and I kind of needed to replace it. I'm going to shout out for her because she's a listener. But Sarah, our friend who's the Copper Beach House, is such a refreshing influencer to follow, because what it is, it's honest and it's transparent, and this is my life. She does do brand deals, or she does show when she's bought things, but she always gives these like caveats that are like, I'm buying this and I've worn it 50 times, or I'm replacing something that's like, you know, now needs replacing, or please make sure it's part of your budget. Like this is not like she hands it home
and a caveat after. And I love, like, sometimes she'll say, oh, this is my go-to dress for nights out. I must have worn my money per wear on this dress is something ridiculous. Like she genuinely, and we're a very social, like, group of friends. She'll always put a caveat on. You know, a lot of people say, I love your dress, and she'll say, literally got it 7 years ago. I've worn it probably 4 times a year. Yeah. She's just so refreshing for people to see. But then she will say, oh, we're going to here, we're going to there, we're going on holiday. They do lovely things, but she's just very honest and transparent and open. And I think it's I do follow a couple of people that do hauls, and it literally drives me insane. Like, I think it's so dishonest, because 99.9% of what they're showing to camera, they're not keeping. It's really bad for the environment. It's really bad for the person at home thinking, oh, when I do an online order, I'm just getting one t-shirt. No, I'm going to buy a capsule wardrobe. That's not a thing. You don't buy a capsule wardrobe in one go. You build it over the time with good investment pieces. So I really respect fashion influencers and beauty influencers that are conscious of the community that they've kind of created and looking out for them. But yeah, everyone wants to be an influencer, don't they? As well, it feels like.
So much of it is if you're good, and this is why like the financial method is so important. If you have frameworks and if you have money goals, then new things or buying new things can fit into those. But if you think every time I see something, I have to click it, you know, then that's not a plan. So you can buy, but it has to fit into something. Like Holly said, they're either getting things for free, sending them back. I do think that it's a healthy dose of inspiration, but this idea that you need a full wardrobe every spring, or I need a new summer wardrobe, and I need a new this. No, like you should be adding quality, sustainable pieces from here and there. And it's like, do you know who? Victoria Beckham's obviously been such a style icon for so long. And what's interesting, especially as I'm getting older, I'm definitely interested in making sure I don't dress too young. And I don't mean necessarily like revealing stuff. I mean like if it's too, what I would call trendy. On
trend, yeah.
I just feel like you're trying to keep up with the Joneses a little bit when you do that, you know, anyway, no matter what your age. But when you're older, I think I feel like you lose your identity, so you just copy everyone else. When you look at Victoria Beckham, I would say in the past 10 years, her style hasn't changed. She went through new dress every night, new this, whereas actually she sticks with the skinny jeans and then some bootleg ones. Yeah. She has classic tailoring, she has basics. Yeah. And that I definitely am trying to lean in more to that. I am being influenced, but in a really different way.
Yeah, like classic looks. Because
replicatable as well, and not that, you know, I find it like a lot of people ask for, I'm like a mini influencer just for my handful of followers on Instagram for what I wear on Morning Live. When I wore Holly's suit, it was like that thing when you borrow a sister's outfit and you're like, it's not mine, it's my sister's and she knows about it. Everyone was like, did you take it from her wardrobe? And actually, that was from Principles. And
that was
like,
from Principles? You don't even know what that is. What's Principles? The panic on Lucy's face.
Everyone wanted, where is it from? I need something like that immediately. You know, when I wore an LK Bennett dress that I bought last summer, and I have worn that literally across the web, I've wore it 20, 30 times, which is a lot for like, I wear trackies most of the time. Yeah. But I knew that Asda had done a bit of an inspirational copy. And so I was finding myself saying, it's from here, but there's kind of one just the same there. Because you do feel that I've just talked to you about money and you've missed it all and gone, where's your dress from? Yeah. I like it when I say, it's really old Mango.
Yeah.
Really old Zara.
I think when you buy something sparkly, flowery,
Magpie.
like something that really draws the eye, that's when you get fatigue when you go in your wardrobe, because you go, that's really a high pattern. Like I feel like I've worn that 20,000 times. Whereas there's nothing better with picking out a plain white tee and a blazer, and skinny jeans and nice trainers, and that's like, you look more put together.
Yeah.
You're not fed up of it next week. You can
look like you didn't try.
You're happy to pay a bit more because you know that you're going to wear it, and it's just like classic timeless look.
Yeah.
We're just influencers, what can I say?
Yeah, but it is.
It's a job for people, and people forget as well.
Yeah.
They're comparing themselves to someone that is their bread and butter. They wake up in the morning, they're ordering stuff online because they know they're going to have to do a reel. They're editing it. Like, we are not. We're not influencers. Like,
I go through phases with like certain influencers. Me and my parasocial relationships with these people that they don't know I exist. And like, I just have like a certain few, and I'm like, I feel like you're a trustworthy person to follow, and like,
you're doing it for the right reason.
I'm not hanging on every word they say, but like,
I think you can get that
feel
vibe.
inspired by them.
I saw it a little bit with fitness influencers actually, where who's the one that you like, and she's moved to America, but she can't.
Oh, Hollybrook.
And the same with Zoe Ray.
Yes.
They are very transparent about the fact that they do this full time. So like when they're fitting in these long runs and the very aesthetic runs, and they can go for like a nice healthy lunch after it. The majority of people training for London Marathon or whatever are whacking it in the dark, in the wet, you know, in a not aesthetic outfit. But that's more like real life, and fitness influencers, it's very easy to have a particular body if you have the time and money to have the training schedule, the diet, the sleep schedule. They can go home and have a nap after a run. We're running into work, and so that I think they're very transparent about that. And it's a similar thing. Like
definitely,
it's not real. It's not comparable.
I tried to squeeze in like a 5K the other day before the kids went to school, and I looked down eventually when I got to school. I was in like a red oversized like Nike thing, green trousers, like red and green should never be seen, like running leggings. And I couldn't get to my 5K, so I ended up I was running with all the kids around the school grounds. Like, they were joining me. Like, that is real. Like, that, if I was an influencer, I'd be like, this is the reality of trying to fit in a job, kids, taking them to school, getting back to work on time. Like, it's not the lunchtime Cheshire run by the canal,
LA,
like,
selfie,
hiking.
Erewhon.
I always think that, like, when my mum was young and she used to like go on runs when me and my brother were younger, and she'd just go out and have her like the water bottle that you hold in your hand.
Oh yeah,
like, no watch, no phone,
no
like,
nothing, just a run.
No running vest.
And now like we're here like pure sport socks, get my pure sport roll on,
The vest.
Yeah.
So I see the vest on TikTok shop again. Jesus Christ. Like, you're going for a 5K. You don't need a vest with a drink in. I'm sorry, you don't.
No, you don't. Well, it's because they need someone to put the phone so they can take a picture of.
When people run, I'm like, sorry, it gives me the ick.
There are some really funny reels and TikToks of that going, when you go out for a run in the 2000s, and it was like my dad's shirt and like a bottle in
like
your hand.
Sambas. Like, my dad would go on a run in these.
Oh yeah, definitely. Might not even have a watch on. Might
yeah,
not actually record the run.
What was your PB?
I bet
no idea.
Do you know? Yeah, that's right. I used to only know my 10 and 5K PBs because I'd entered races and had like a picture of that. Oh my God, I did. I scrolled down to see my Wigan 10K time from a lot of years ago. I can't remember now, but it was fat. I think it was between 40. It might have been 45.
Yeah,
it was fast, and I was just
Fury.
not with that sprint finish. Yeah. Oh God, but I wouldn't have recorded it on Strava and have it like, you know,
Facebook post.
There's pluses and minuses to it all, but I'm just picturing your mum now going out for a run and not being bothered.
She looks so chic, is all I'd say for Jen. She'd have made it look good no matter
She'd
what.
have influenced us.
Okay, I'm gonna read first dilemma. Should I be able to manage my money by now? Hey, I've really been enjoying your podcast and have been taking bits of advice. I've taken out life insurance and sorted my pension. I'm not sure if I need some help or just some stern words. I'm 25 and decided to go to uni this year to increase my earning potential. With uni comes student loan, which is where it gets embarrassing. I've given my loan to my mum to look after, to set up a direct debit for a weekly allowance. This has been working great for me. I've been sensible with money and putting bits aside to pay bills, etc. However, at 25, I feel like I should be able to look after my money and budget it properly. The thought of having that much money at my disposal makes me feel sick since it's paid termly. I know my past habits, I would have blown it all at the start and had nothing left the last few weeks of term. Any advice or suggestions would be greatly appreciated.
First of all, you get a gold sticker, like thinking about
Life
pension,
insurance,
life insurance, and like tick, tick. And secondly, it's not normal to have that amount of money given to you in one go. And we always talk about how student loans are distributed and not given on a monthly basis. And in the UK specifically, you tend to get paid on a monthly basis when you graduate to your big person job in the form of a salary. So I actually think it's really sensible. And you do you. It's not normal to have a huge chunk of money and for you to be able to logically split it up. But you've done that. I know you're giving it to your mum and you probably feel a bit, I'm not really doing very well. Like, I shouldn't have to do this at my age. But you're well aware of your spending habits, it sounds like, and your past money mistakes or however you want to refer to it. I just think they're really good. That's a really good like foundation or a little methodology or system put in place. It's not too different to doing a financial budget because we get paid, all of us, and that money is given a job and it's put away. We don't have thousands of pounds left in our current account at our disposal. Like, we're all in the same position as this person, just she's managing it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's not going to get stern words from us actually on that one.
Sorry.
Listen, I think that getting money from a student loan is very weird. Like Holly said, it's not how you would normally be paid. And so what I would say is it would be really helpful to graduate student loan, graduate to like a monthly payment. So firstly, if she's unsure and if this method works for her and if she trusts mum, which sounds like she absolutely does, because God forbid some people don't have that relationship. Yeah. So then crack on, because for a period of time, it's not worth the risk to put yourself under stress and possibly, spend money then and end up in like more debt or struggling. But I think the like kind of weekly spend concept, it would be good to get you up to a monthly, because again, it depends what she's using. It's just for spends, isn't it? It's not really for bills. I suspect bills are bigger and your accommodation's bigger. Yeah. It's not this at 25. We all did different things at 25. Then, we're not all built the same. We're not walking the same path. So I don't like the idea of milestones. But if she says she was a bit irresponsible and not great with money. So this isn't a plan forever.
No.
So can she get to a point where instead of it being weekly, it goes monthly and she gets kind of paid that monthly payment from mum and mum keeps that? Because what she has to do, and the other thing is she needs to practice spending and she needs to practice some sinking funds, because what you don't want is to then come out, hopefully get this, she's invested in her education to be able to earn more. You can't still keep giving it to mum.
Yeah.
You need to be, and you need to be a bit brave. So she's scared of losing it. But she needs to mess up a couple of times. She needs to overspend and understand a budget. She needs to be all in. So there's part of me that's like, okay, next phase is let's get a monthly chunk. She needs to practice saving or putting some money away and not touching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that saving muscle memory.
Seeing it in your bank, but like
not doing that.
Not for this.
And I think, to be fair, I do think the Starling, Monzo, Chase, Revolut, the pot functionality, it does work. It really, really does. It helps keep it in your current account, out of sight, out of mind. And even if, yes, you can get access to it, there's something psychological where you don't like it. So I don't like it when I've overspent on, let's say, groceries and I have to move money from the fun. It's always money in the fun account usually. And I go, groceries aren't fun.
I want to over-egg my entertainment account in the hope that like I'll
have loads of fun. Yeah.
But fun is food, so
yeah. I even hate that. So that's a mental thing for I'm budgeting wrong, and you don't want to come out and then go straight into being paid and then waste it. But yeah, she's not getting stern words.
You're halfway there. Like Laura said, like you're getting paid weekly, and it sounds like that's absolutely fine and it's working good. But like, let's stretch it to monthly and try and give every penny a job. Like you do weekly, there should be no different. But then you will be really ready for when you get that first paycheck in your hand that I know what I'm doing with it.
And just trust yourself.
Yeah.
She's scared to trust herself. So she's not backing herself, and don't be afraid to fail. I appreciate you want to limit the possible risk of failing on a bigger scale.
It's usually people that are unaware that they have a problem. You're like, meh. She's
got great self-awareness.
You're giving yourself a hard time, whereas actually, surprisingly, we're not going to give, like Laura said, no stern words. You're doing really well, but yeah, trust yourself a little bit more. Just stick to the methodology. Like we'll say it time and time again. We have done this for years now. We have had thousands of you across 188 countries use this methodology. Yeah. It works. Mm-hmm. It works. Stick with it.
No, not in financial jail.
No. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually going to read out a podcast review instead of a community win today. So this is technically our win.
So where is someone? Tell me how podcast reviews work, because I've actually never given one.
So
I might give us one after this.
So this is actually from Apple Podcasts.
Okay,
where
I'm just
you can
at the same
actually
time.
type and give us some words. Spotify is just a 5-star rating, please, everybody.
You know what? You just give it a 5-star. It's just easy as that.
So here we go. I discovered this podcast a few weeks ago and have caught up on all of the episodes. Great to hear realistic advice about finances and have really inspired me to improve my own situation.
Like it.
We've got one.
Success.
So I
like it when people listen back. Like we look at data on the pod and how it performs and what we want more of, or where people are listening from, just because we love that kind of stuff. And you'll see people go, like, our early episodes will get a hit, and then episode 2, then episode 3, which means that people find us like on week, I don't even know how many weeks we're on now, 50s? 61. And then they'll fly back. You'll see episode 1 go up, 2, 3, 4, 5, because people listen to the back catalogue, which I love, because you'll see how, I don't know, have we changed over time maybe? Visually, I'm not sure. I think Lucy's hair will still be on point, episode 1.
Just looking how you do it. You go on to the main bit. So you go on an episode and then you click the vault where it's got the long list.
Yes.
Yeah, we need people to review.
Yes.
Share.
Please review, share with people who you think might need that little
boost.
Get
in the WhatsApp groups.
Yes, WhatsApp groups.
Oh, holy grail. Female WhatsApp groups. Like, the world would be sorted in that WhatsApp group, I'm telling you now.
Make sure you're following as well, or subscribes, because it helps us reach more people.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, we never ask you for this. We
No,
don't ask
we
you for
never do.
anything. Apart from dilemmas. And even then, we don't ask you for dilemmas anymore, because every day I'm like, Lucy,
got too many.
incoming. We have too many. We don't share them all anymore, right?
No,
'Cause we have far too many. And some of them are a little bit like repetitive, and we might have answered it in another episode and whatnot. But we never ask you for anything, so go and do this.
On
Lucy.
Spotify, I wasn't following and I wanted to listen to Thursdays on Friday, and I have to search for it. But if you're in the car, obviously you don't want to be searching while you're driving. Would never do that. And so, but I follow a couple of other podcasts, and they're there, and I'm like, for God's sake, where's mine? And so I've since looked, and so I followed, and it appears.
Okay.
So when we've done new ones on your homepage of Spotify, I press Spotify, it's there, and now bright pink glory. So a confession, I wasn't following us, but I am now, and I've found that when I'm a little bit behind on some episodes, it's easier
to catch up
than like necessarily having to search.
Yeah.
So
you get the little blue dot, don't you?
Yeah, blue dot.
Yeah.
Okay, time for our next dilemma today. Buying a loan or waiting for my partner? Hi, Financielle. I'm in my late 20s and I'm in a long-term relationship. I'm fortunate to have received money from my grandparents and my parents and built up my own savings through responsible budgeting. I'm thinking about buying a home in the next 2 to 3 years. My dilemma is that my boyfriend has very different spending habits to me. His mindset is more get money, spend money, though I have been taming him.
Oh, not like that. Sorry.
He's also in the process of starting a freelance business, which I foresee will take up a lot of his earnings as he reinvests it in growth. We're due to move to London soon, which is a non-negotiable as it's where we both have the most job opportunities. The amount we're spending on rent makes me feel like signing up for a mortgage would be a better use of money. However, I'm torn between 2 options. 1, buying a smaller 1-bed flat on my own with a longer mortgage to get on the property ladder and stop wasting money on rent. Or 2, waiting a few years until he's in a better position to get a mortgage together, which could allow us to buy a larger, more future-proof home. I'd love to hear your opinions.
I've got so much to say.
I have.
But
wait, no,
do we need to take a ticket and take
Before
our
we-
like in the Clark shoes? We need to
Go down the slide.
butchers.
Before you hear what Holly and Laura have to say, if you're a Spotify listener, we're going to put a poll up. So what do you think she should do?
Oh, okay.
And you can go and answer now before you hear what
That's
everyone
a
has
good
to say.
idea.
Oh,
I like
and then
that.
I wonder when someone answers the poll if it tells them immediately what other people thought, and then they
Yeah.
can listen to us and
Yeah,
go, "Well, that was like you didn't do what everyone else wants to do. That was stupid."
We usually go a bit rogue. I think everyone always thinks like,
Yeah, we need
oh,
a
I know.
rogue button.
Yeah. Go on.
Actually, just move countries.
I don't know where to start. So there's a difference, right? Where you and your partner have different financial pots. So she's come into inheritance, is budgeting. He could be in a situation where he hasn't had that lump sum. Most of us, are not blessed with that kind of legacy, but he might be building up his savings, but he's just a bloody long way behind. So where you are both in a situation where you're super responsible with money, you're very aligned, you're kind of saving even at a similar rate, it's just you've jumped ahead. And you're in a long-term relationship, and because there's lots of wider warnings with buying with someone, one that you're not married with, and just someone who, this is a financially responsible person in this example that I'm saying. So you kind of trust how they're going to be with money, because it's a big commitment getting a mortgage with someone. You are both signing up for that mortgage. If one of you stops paying, the other one has to pay it. The bank literally couldn't care less. And if they don't or you don't, it can really damage your credit and stuff. So there's a whole heap of reasons why it's a big thing to buy with someone else. But if you are both on the same page, there are ways that you can structure the purchase where, you might own more of the property than him. I've seen it before actually, where you put the whole deposit down and someone else doesn't, and but you're then both going to pay the mortgage payments. And so you can speak with a lawyer and structure the purchase like that. So that's an example where you're both cool. She doesn't say that. She says he's like a get it, spend it mentality. Massive red flag. Not relationship wise, just financially, because this sounds to me like someone who doesn't really believe in good financial management, doesn't sound like it'd be the ideal person to buy a property with, because you literally have more money on the line, and it could, I don't know, open up more cracks later. And if you were going to buy on your own, which I do think, so if you have enough money to do that and can, I think it's a great idea. You can have a situation with him where he helps pay you rent. You can document it so that he doesn't have any claim on the property and it's fully yours. I do like that idea, because I think the other thing that would piss me off if I'm you is if I wait. Going to wait until we're both ready. You miss out on the opportunity to be in the property market, especially in London, where, typically prices do rise well. And he ends up never getting there, or it doesn't work out. And so of all the options, there's something in me that feels like you should either buy on your own, own it on your own, protect yourself legally, and see how you get on. Or, don't buy with him and don't buy on your own and make your money work in the background. So kind of, take some advice, maybe invest some of it so it grows. But don't buy with this guy right now.
No, I completely agree with everything that you said. I was immediately option 2, buy on your own, because if it's something that you're going to do anyway and you've got the means to do it and he's by no way close to doing it, you will start to feel resentful, and that relationship will inevitably possibly break down anyway, because you'll be so annoyed, like Laura said, at potentially missing that opportunity, or thinking, why can't you just get your shit together? Whereas if you've bought the place and that's a tick off a goal that you want, and it sounds like you're really passionate about, and financially good sense as well. If you can buy in London a 1-bedroom flat, that's really impressive anyway. Go ahead and do it. Like we've seen with the property prices, I think that you'll be happy in a few years' time. Should you want to buy somewhere else, if he's ready to, when you go in together, perfect time, and you can then upgrade to even then a 1-bedroom, or you might even stay. And like Laura said, you can change documentation at any time. And if he wants to contribute and go in together or whatever it is, but yeah, I would not be waiting on this person, only because we talk about money personalities all the time, and like Laura said, it's not a bad thing. It's just that you come on sounds like completely different pages when it comes to how you manage your money. You could just become very resentful if that person technically holds you back from you wanting to progress on the financial journey.
Yeah, she doesn't say how long they've been together, because you can be very different, but the longer you spend with someone, he might come closer to kind of responsible budgeting. And also she might inspire him. Like if she says, actually, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to buy, they have a arrangement where actually he gets cheap rent. He's going to get cheaper rent than if they were renting anyway. He can save more, but he might also be inspired by, actually, I want to own a property. I want to do this with you. I'm going to save up a pot and then I'm going to buy it. It's a great idea.
Because if you just always talk, should we rent? Should we this? There's no real commitment for him to have to go, I'm going to buy this flat. If you want to come in, we need to have saved this much by this date, because this is what I want.
And the freelance point is, I definitely admire when someone decides to go freelance. a lot of the time people underestimate how long it takes to build up that client base, to build up that repeatable income. You need a higher emergency fund and the risk is much higher. Some people in that position look to get like income protection insurance to help protect that downside of if I get poorly, if I can't look after clients. I would not want to be financially tied to a brand new freelancer. No offense, freelancers, but you know, you don't need financially tied means like you've got a mortgage together because the responsibility will fall on you. Yeah. And so, you know, if that's the path he wants to go down, fine. But I think again, if he wants to be on the mortgage at some point, if he wants to buy a property, as those, you know, freelancers listening will know, it's a hard slog. You've got to build up your earnings. You've got to get your tax return and demonstrate what your taxable earnings are, and then you can think about a mortgage. And that's not easy.
Has it got to be like 2 years of earnings? Sometimes
generally they like 2 years worth of accounts, which is more than 2 years of earnings if you think about it, because it depends when the accounting years are. You know, a mortgage advisor would definitely be able to help, especially one that can look after freelancers. There's specialists that can say, actually demonstrate this, this and this. But for me, I just feel like a bit chaotic, likes to spend, suddenly wants to go freelance, isn't very good at saving, doesn't budget. Do not get a mortgage with this person. Yeah. You can still go out for tea with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Still go on holiday
and
with
have
them.
A relationship. Yeah,
have a nice relationship.
It's not a like, and like we'd never say that.
It might be.
I mean,
vibes. Don't know.
Well, I don't know. After going through that list, you might be like, so where's this going?
Yeah.
Like, are we going
to get on?
Yeah. Is this going to grate on me eventually? Like, I don't know. It'll be. I would like to see the follow up on this one.
Yeah, me too.
Very
I
much
would definitely like a follow up on this one.
And I'd like to know what the community think about this dilemma. I'm
sure I can't wait to see the poll because we can't see the poll yet because we've recorded it. So can't wait to see the poll. We'll go on Instagram that day. So when we release this, we'll go on Instagram and see what people said. Yeah, excited.
Any final words today?
I just need an update on that one. It's like EastEnders, isn't it?
It really is.
Relationships.
This is the massive like intertwine between relationships and money. Can you believe we're predicting that this relationship will end? I'm so sorry. But I'm just going to say it.
Well,
I feel like
we've seen it play out with so many people whereby the money personalities are so on the opposite end of the scale.
And no movement.
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
no movement.
No
That's
movement.
when it's
no willing.
breaker.
But then do you know what? We do see sometimes in the community people say, my husband's not on board or my wife's not on board, and then literally they play a bit of the podcast.
Yeah.
And they
maybe
show
play
them
this dilemma.
Yes.
Maybe he'll like shit himself.
Yeah. I don't know. I get the vibes from that he'll just
won't
not
realise
give a
it's him.
shit.
It'll be like, what an idiot.
They're talking about you. But no, sometimes we do see, but you can't take, what is the word? You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Oh yeah.
You can't. It just doesn't work. It's like a fitness journey. You can't be like, you need to get fit and you need to lose weight. That person has to do it for themselves.
They want to, and they learn by osmosis. And so again, you've been given an amazing leg up by someone in your life. That's not what everyone gets, and your partner hasn't had that. But there's lots of other things that you're doing that could just rub off on him and could bring him closer and could inspire him.
You don't need to like preachy to the person.
Yeah, and because you could as well be like the other way. You could also be like, come on the fuck on, Bridget.
Yeah, you could easily be that person and be pissed off, and we would all be like, rightly so. But actually you could just carry on having really good financial habits, go on to do things like buy a home, and arguably that might bring the person rather than saying you should. Have you thought of? Because it can be a little bit.
Can be a bit naggy, can't it?
You don't want to be that person.
No.
Did you know?
It's a bit like on Sex and the City when Charlotte goes, set the date. It's like so desperate we talked about it before about engagement and getting married, but it is that like, you know, she can go off and do this and she doesn't need him, so she doesn't have to force him either. It's like she has complete autonomy to go.
The fact that you've even suggested, this is my option, you thought about it.
Yeah.
You thought about buying on your own.
You know it.
You know the answer.
She's going to buy it. I think she'll buy on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And moving to London, like that's another whole element thrown in.
If you think he spends now, he's going to spend when he gets to London.
London.
Every time. Okay, that's all for this episode. The Vault is now closed. And just a quick disclaimer, The Vault is just a chat around life and money topics. We are not giving financial advice.